Okay, a lot of people have asked me some questions, and in my own family, so on and so forth. Okay, my personal opinion, no U.S. policy involved here, has nothing to do with the United States government in itself. It has to do with me. Okay, we have been in the Middle East since World War II. We need to get out of there. Okay. Should have never went into Iraq, in my opinion. I believe that was very stupid. Supposedly they have a freely elected government, so on and so forth. And we've trained their security forces. If that's true, it's time to go home. And I'm not talking, 2014. I'm talking within a month. I'm also talking about Afghanistan. Our so-called partners in the region have been protecting the Taliban from us across their borders for quite some time now. Apparently somebody put some pressure on because they pushed the Taliban back over the Afghan border, and now we can get to them and maybe get some positive reaction out of our efforts. However, it doesn't matter if we leave today, tomorrow, 2014, within a month to 6 months of us leaving, there's going to be a government change in Afghanistan because the government that's there is corrupt. And as long as we fund it, we're going to be seen as the bad guys. Okay? So we need to pull our troops out of there too. And I'm not talking 2014. Within a month. Pull them all out and get out. We're training them to be more self-sufficient, and lo and behold, the people that we're training are turning around and ambushing our troops. That's a big sign it's time to leave. This is the same thing that happened over in Vietnam. Okay? Those people don't want us there. Never have. People don't want us in Iraq. Never have. We need to be out tomorrow. We also need to stop funding governments, regimes that are not favorable to the United States or human rights. I think human rights is the thing that should consider whether the United States, being a prideful and very conscious country that want to do good, they have done some good things over the centuries that we've been here. However, in the Middle East, we are never going to have peace there because of the Crusades, where the Christians of the time went over, took over a large portion of the Arabian Peninsula, especially Jerusalem. There are temples there, that got buried by the Islamic fighters that finally drove the Crusaders out of the Middle East. But this was not before thousands and thousands were killed. You think they forget that? No. If it was the United States, would we forget it? No. We're not wanted there. We're seen as infidels. We're seen as enemies of Islam. So let's get out of there. Get out of there. We're spending too much money over there protecting our troops, fixing their economies, and trying to put in stable governments, which these stable governments are going to fall within 1 to 6 months after we vacate. Case in point, Russia tried this in Afghanistan, and they lost. We didn't necessarily lose. We pushed them over a border into a country that is protecting them. And we have to ask for permission. And by the time we get the permission and get over there, the people are gone. And we have nobody to attack. So they're being shielded by another Islamic country who supposedly is our friend, which is Pakistan. Okay. So, we give a lot of equipment to Israel because they don't want money. They want equipment. They want military equipment to preserve their way of life. We get, instead of shipping it all the way back here, we ship a lot of it over to them so they can protect themselves. Give them a staunch endorsement of their right to exist, and consider any attack on them as an attack on the United States. Now, with that said, is this going to anger a lot of people? Yes. These demonstrations and this uproar and everything else and all this complication in the Middle East is very simple. Iran wants the bomb. Iran is starting trouble all over the world, in any Muslim country that it has influence in, to shine the light away from the fact they're going to have an atomic bomb within a couple of weeks, and they want anti-American demonstrations going on. So if either Israel or we bomb their bomb plant, they will be able to call for an all-out jihad against Christianity, which several have already done anyway. So, let's get out of there, save some money, take some of that money, give it to the elderly, give it to our schools, and revamp our military. Without a strong military, we're nobody. We can holler and scream all we want, but there's nothing we can do about it. So, do not cut money from the military. With the money saved from propping up all these governments all over the world, I say we just stop funding anybody else and worry about ourselves for right now, because we're in trouble. And that'll save us trillions. It might even reduce the deficit. Anyway, Middle East, we need to get out. Not because they say so. It's because of the same reason of what happened in Vietnam. Okay? You might have Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Yemen, all these places, but they're all Muslims. Egypt, they're all Muslims. Different sects, but all Muslims. And they consider us the devil. So why are we giving them money? Why are we propping up governments? Let's get out of there. Worry about our own sick, our own elderly, our own school children. Having a strong military, so if somebody decides, to force their will on us, that we can protect ourselves. And to harm our only friend. I don't want to say our only friend. I mean, Saudi Arabia has been very close to us. And I don't know whether that's yeah, I don't know what the deal is on that, but they seem to be the only country that doesn't demonstrate against us in the Middle East or with any kind of Muslim population. If there's a Muslim population, they are inflamed at this film that has nothing to do with the United States. It's an excuse to show the world that the United States is in places they shouldn't be. And we need to get out. If I was president, 1 week timetable. Kind of hard to do, but, like I say, the hardest part was getting the equipment out of there. If we send a good portion of it over to Israel instead of bringing it back home, one, we can update our equipment with new equipment, and two, we can ensure that Israel has a defense against the jihad that has been claimed against Jewish people and Christians. I.e., let's get our nose out of it and fix our own problems and help our friends defend themselves.